what's the difference between a cloud specialist who works in a bank or a corporate versus a cloud specialist who works for a cloud service provider or a cloud partner? Um, the difference is in the application of the skill. So in a bank or in a corporate, you're usually focused in a certain specific area. So for example, if you are into software engineering, you would mostly focus on developing applications for the bank or for that corporate that are cloud native. But if, for example, you're like me, who's worked for organizations that are partners to Azure or AWS, you are helping customers understand the cloud. And by that I mean you work in a different set of problems where you have to deploy a solution that's different for this customer, a solution that's different for the other customer. So in a way, when you work for a professional services company, your experience in the cloud space is rather broad. So for example, I'm someone who's deployed data platforms, your data factory, your Redshift using Terraform, for example. And during those projects, you are focusing on the infrastructure. You're an infrastructure person. You are someone who automates infrastructure deployment. But remember, there is the application layer where data engineers then have to deploy pipelines to that infrastructure that you deploy. So that's the interesting part with the difference between someone who works for a corporate or a bank. In a professional services company, you are forced in a way to be able to understand the whole stack. Because one project you're working on just deploying the Azure Express Route or the VPNs, the connectivity only, and in another you are forced to deploy, say, a three-tier architecture. So with time, you are then forced to understand all these skills that tie into infrastructure automation, for example. So there's no good or bad, but if you're working for a professional services company, there's a lot of pressure. You're dealing with projects, so every project is time bound. Sometimes you don't really get to go deeper into a technology. That's the other disadvantage of working for a professional services company as compared to someone who works in a single space. So yeah, that's my take on it. And I would say if you want to work as a contractor, if you want to work as a specialist expert in the cloud space, your best chances are if you work for a professional services company. That way, you're able to explain your problem-solving capabilities because you've experienced projects that span all the domains: security, Linux, networking, applications, architecture, design, everything.